Hello, everybody. We're back for another space versus. So this is the space opera versus. We are trying to get to our final 4 competitors. Let's see where we're at. Let's get the official space opera versus icon here. um, so today, as you know, we're doing Krull versus SpaceHunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone 3D. That's the full title. Krull, people were upset that it got booted by the superior movie called You're the Hunter from the Future. People were very upset over that, even though Yours clearly better. They were upset. They called me the Krull killer. So I got everyone a tissue. I wiped their tears away and brought Krull back in the People's Choice versus where it went against Ice Pirates, and it came back. So Krull is back. Can it beat SpaceHunter? We're gonna find out tonight. So that is where we're at. Once we decide that, we've got our final 4 movies in the space opera versus tournament. And this has been a long road. So it's going to be really cool to see where this goes. Now, before we get to that, this Tuesday, Steven and I will be back talking about some wrestling. So that's going to be 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. I've just posted a review of Violent Night, starring David Harbour and Beverly D'Angelo and John Leguizamo, where he plays Santa. It's sort of like a Die Hard Home Alone action movie. So check out my review. That's on the channel right now. And then next week, I think we're going to bring back the Days of High Adventure. I'm going to check my schedule, but I want to do John Carter of Mars, or John Carter, which is what the movie was called. It's actually the first ever thing I reviewed on YouTube. So the first ever movie review I ever did, first video, was a review of John Carter. So Sean and I are going to talk about that on the Days of High Adventure stream, which hopefully will be Thursday, I think. I got to check because I got a lot. I've got a lot of stuff coming up this week. So I'll try to post things in advance. Sometimes I can't put all the streams up in advance because I don't really know exactly what's happening. So just make sure you've got the notification bell hit and make sure you're subscribed, and you can check all that out. Wednesday, this I think is set. Wednesday, we're going to be talking about Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, and the Conan the Barbarian. I think it was 2011, but I'm not sure. 2011 movie with Jason Momoa as Conan. So we're going to talk about those 3 Conan movies. That's going to be on the Action Elites channel. So make sure you are subscribed to the Action Elite. The link to their channel is in the description of this video, plus all my other videos. So that's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure that one is set. So we're going to do it. Last week we did the films of Albert Pion, who had passed away. We looked at all of his movies and gave our thoughts about them. I told some great stories, so make sure you go check that out on Action Elite. All right. So let's get on with it. Let's figure out which movie is going to be better. I guess I could do it alone, but I'm not going to do it alone because I have to have other people's opinions to help sway me. So let's bring in our first master of the universe. Hello.
Masters of the universe.
Yeah, I figured we are the masters of the universe. So why not use that?
Yeah, everyone's complaining about the song in that video I put up. There's like a
what?
I put up a Masters video, and it's getting like hundreds of views, but it's an old book and record set.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and they made like a Masters of the Universe song, which is like 5 minutes long, and it's like the worst thing ever, but it's awesome. I don't know.
Well, okay, so Sean's channel, I just posted a link up in the chat for Sean's channel. Let's get Steve's thing on here. So spoiler, Steve will be on this panel, but let's get his link up there too. And we're going to get Charlie, who's also on. We're going to get his Facebook group link as well up there. So there you go. Maybe we'll get the Action Elite up there as well. Why not?
Yeah, man.
Let's get it all up there.
All
right. Woo, there you go. Link after link after link. All right. All right. Let's bring our next Master of the Universe. Hello.
Yes. I already have a Masters of the Universe name. I'm Carpentor.
Oh my
Because I do
god!
all my carpentry. I am Carpentor.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Yeah, so that works out perfectly.
What's your
See?
battle action? What's your
I have like hammers and a nail gun that shoots out. So you know, I
that's
have
cool.
I have-
Spring-loaded nail gun,
yes,
and
you spring load the nail in it, fires out.
and
you
like
know.
a slamming action. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Pretty
kind of
cool.
kind of like jitsu, except
Yes.
it's
Yes,
got a
I've
hammer.
got you. All right, let's bring in the fourth and final master. Hey, Steve.
Hey, J-Man. Hey,
I just noticed I don't have my water on me. Hold on a second, guys. If I don't have I'm coughing my lungs out. So
Get your water. It's fine.
I'll be back in 2 seconds. Hold on.
we have
Steve,
to
your
see
shirt's
the
awesome, man.
bottle.
That's right, man. You just gotta have that stuff. What's your Masters Universe name, Steven, if you could pick one?
Well,
you're right. We could just do Ritor. You could be
Ritor,
like,
yeah, that would be good.
Ritor.
That's
See?
better than anything I can do. Right for that's
Right
good.
for yeah.
Ritor.
Who's the writer here?
Hey, could not be reached.
Hey, cannot
What's
be
going
reached.
on, man?
Oh, hey, could not be reached. I finally got the Jedi Apprentice Book 1. Jesus. I ordered Jedi Apprentice Book 1, and I got it, and it wasn't Jedi Apprentice Book 1. It wasn't Jedi Apprentice Book anything. It was a random book. Like someone just sent me a random book that has nothing to do with anything. So then
Is it Star Wars still or no?
No, it's not Star Wars. It's like some random book. So I had to get my money back, and then I was like, okay, so then I have to go back to eBay again. I got my money back. I went back to eBay, and I ordered it from another guy, and I got it. So this is like a month's long. I have book 2, but I didn't have book 1, so I can finally.
What did you do with the first book?
Right.
I don't know where. I think I gave it away to Goodwill, or it could be
somebody sent him like their manifesto or something.
The history of Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, Canada.
That's oddly specific, Steven. Did you send him a book?
Yeah, what's going on here?
Perhaps I sold him. I told him I was sending the Jedi one. There's an old textbook lying around.
That'd be epic.
Imagine.
We can't do anything by working with each other.
Yeah, that guy at the end is like, oh.
Nightmare fuel, guys.
That is nightmare fuel. I know. Yeah, it's really crazy. All right, was everyone here? Okay, so everyone is definitely here for Krull at some point, right?
Yeah.
Either the first go around or the second go around.
Yeah.
Everyone was here for SpaceHunter, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't here for SpaceHunter, Sean?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. So let's start off with Sean. SpaceHunter, man. How did you find out about it? What's your background with that one?
I saw SpaceHunter. I don't even know when, man. It was on TV, and it's just always been around. I never thought it was very remarkable for some reason, and I always thought of it as a cheap shit movie. And it's funny because J-Man, you showed it to me again, because I was like, yeah, it's like it's okay, it's all right, And then when you showed it to me again, I was like, I don't know why I didn't remember these giant like machines and the freaking, it's like there's some cool stuff in it. And I was like, for some reason, what outshines all of that for me is the terrible matte lines and the bubble wrap that they use like constantly, and those guys are wrapped up in bubble wrap. It's like it's awful because when you watch it in high definition now, it's totally sheets of bubble wrap. And just the cheap quality of things. Like,
right.
I mean, I feel like I've seen better sort of Bartertown looking things, like Jabba's Palace and stuff, and Bartertown, than what they did in that movie. It's just, they just threw trash around, but and that's what outshone it for me. But it's cool. I see it in like more high regard now. And I mean, like, and Ernie Hudson's in it, so
yeah,
that's awesome.
All right, yeah. So SpaceHunter and Krull, these are 2 childhood ones. I had SpaceHunter on VHS from that same place. It's like there's like it was Zeller's. It was like a cheap. There was like a kind of a cheapy section, $10 section. I got all my Godzilla movies there. I would literally go to that section first, and then I'd go to the new releases and the mainstream movies after. And I got this section. Like when I tell you all these things I got, it's insane. I got all the Godzilla movies, the big 2, Ghidra the three-headed monster, and that's when it was called Ghidra, not Ghidorah, how they say it now. It's Ghidra, right? And I got Megalon, I got Monster Island / Guy. I got Monster Island and Gigan, and then I found out that they're the same movie, so I bought it twice.
Yeah.
And they look different. I got Fire and Ice from there. I got Lord of the Rings, the cartoon animated, from there. I got SpaceHunter from there. I got Night of the Warrior, which is Lorenzo Lamas. That's
Wow.
right. I mean, like the list goes on, and it was a lot of these were it was called QEP. So it's quality extended play. Remember on a VCR, you could set the reel. So if like SP would be where it would take like a video of a tape would actually take up a couple of hours. Versus you could get 6 hours of it if you did it in a lesser, like I guess
with the 8-hour one,
And there's an 8-hour one.
It was like SP, X,
EP,
like all these different settings.
I thought, I'll just use this to tape all my shows, and then it just got worse and worse quality.
It did.
Right.
Oh crap! That's the consequence, right? Yeah.
Oh.
I taped all of Robots in Disguise on those, and now they're like as hell. So, the original Robots in Disguise from 2001.
You can go on like YouTube and like go look up like all the old commercials and stuff. You can tell who recorded on a regular like SP and then who used the extended play to rip them back onto YouTube.
These are all this is called QEP. They're all like quality EP. It's like, okay, because like if you looked at the tape, there was like like a tape should have like a couple inches of actual tape. This is like it's like you're like half your finger, and I'm like,
it's the difference between electrical tape on a roll and Scotch tape on a roll. Just that little bit.
So I'm like, I used to buy, and they're all at that time. It was like $7.99. They came out to like $10. So I don't know what it was like 15% maybe back then or something tax. It came out to like $10. So it was the $10 movies, and we'd go right there, and we picked up like a shit ton from that section. There's way more. I had about 500 VHS tapes before I had about 500. I still have my list of what I had. So I had about 500 VHS tapes before DVD had come out. So then I stopped and converted everything. Unfortunately I threw out everything I bought on DVD. I threw the VHS out,
as one did back in the day.
And I kind of feel bad because you know what I did though? I kept every cover. I took the covers and flattened them, and I kept all the covers because
that's worth it. Yeah,
I thought that's kind of cool, right? Like, just because some of the covers were really neat.
People buy those covers, so
and there's some covers that never got put back on like DVDs or anything. So the VHS is totally unique.
Like Krull.
Although
it's on the Blu-ray, but like the DVD has some weirdo Photoshop thing or something.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've kind of talked about these movies already. So what's the time? I guess we can get it. Is there does anyone want to say anything else about anything before we just get into it, or are you guys all good? We can just
I think we can jump right into it, man.
Yep.
We usually go off on some tangent eventually, so we
will go on a tangent later because a lot of trailers dropped. We'll tangent this up at the end.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We're gonna rank the trailers.
Choice, man.
We're gonna rank the trailers from which ones were god awful trash horse shit to god awful. So it'll be like, Guardians 3 is okay.
The trailers themselves are good. It's just that what they portend, right? So I don't know.
We'll tangent it at the end.
There you go.
All right. So these are two movies. This is a bit tough for me. It's sad. It's actually not tough for me, but it's sad because I do like both movies and their childhood ones. Krull versus Yor was sadder because Krull was a newer movie and Krull was one I always loved and always defended. So that's why Yor winning was so tough. But this one I do have one that I like better. But is there anyone who knows for sure story-wise, or does everyone have? Steve, you're always the guy who's the where's my thing for that? Hold on. Where's my I have so many now that like I can't even find them.
Can't argue with a confident man.
There you go. There it is.
I even thought about this already, so I have my winner in all 5 categories.
Okay, so Steve, who is wins for story?
Winner for story for me is Krull. very, very, very close because they're both quest movies.
Right.
They're both quest movies. They're, you're going on a big ass quest and you're going to save someone. So they're literally the exact same story if you just look at from eagle eye level.
Right.
Reason why I'm giving it to Krull is that there's a lot of side story that enriches that story that SpaceHunter really doesn't have. SpaceHunter has the one central story. They sort of go off a little bit here and a little bit there, but not really. Quest for Chicks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's hard to argue. In fact, it's inarguable. Super
That's
Channel
true.
First Choice, man. I remember First
Yeah,
Choice.
First Choice is the one I remember. They played Inspector Gadget here.
Yeah.
On that thing, yeah.
I watched that all the time. Anyhow,
I had the big doll that extend. I had the big.
Oh,
the big,
God.
that extended.
That's the only thing they made, really.
I had it, man.
Yeah.
Get Smart was my favorite show, and I literally just somehow my mind, because it was Don Adams Don Adams. I just said, "Oh, Get Smart is a continuation," or just
I
a
thought so
continuation
too as a kid.
of Get Smart. I'm like, yes, this is the best.
Just like I thought, like Family Matters was a sequel to Die Hard. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it is.
As my mother said, how does he not know it's his dog all the time? He always went after his dog.
I'll just say this and we'll move on. When the things pop out of his collar, I always thought, well, when it goes back in, wouldn't it stab him? Like,
No, it extends, man.
Yeah. It's all flexible, man. It's all flexible.
Yeah.
I always remember the PSAs too, where he ate the sandwich too fast and he just started choking.
I don't remember that one.
I actually probably needed that. I could finish eating in 3 seconds. It's like they're like, "What happened?" It's like the food's gone.
Taste the food, J-Man. Taste the food.
It was not a large, but like we're a very vocal family. Like when my wife first came to our lunches, she's like, "I can't. Like, what's happening here?" She's like, "Everyone hates each other." I'm like, "Nah." And I would be like the most relaxed. Like you guys think I get all tense. I was the most relaxed person there. Everyone's like, "Wow, Jay's pretty calm," and it's like I'm the calm one. If the rest of my family would get pissed off at all these shitty movies that have come out, they'd be way worse. Like, so all right. Anyway, Steve. Okay, so Steve, you're saying
Krull has a lot of side quests. I think just enriches story and enhances the side characters. You have the whole thing with the widow of the web and the older man and that whole storyline in there. You have the older man. That's where you find out the Slayers can actually emulate people, which is a kind of a cool secondary thing. They're not just foot soldiers. You have like even the little stuff of Liam Neeson and his one of his many wives, and she's like, "Oh, you don't love me," and blah blah blah. You have all of that and the main quest. You just get more, and it enriches the story. The Cyclops, he could die. He's supposed to die, but he chooses to die for his friends instead of dying, comfortably in how he's supposed to die. SpaceHunter is a cool story. It's just literally the two of them for most of the movie going out and on this massive quest. They meet Ernie Hudson halfway through. There's that whole sort of backstory between, the main character and his character. But it's not the side quests. It's not the, bringing in the extra characters. So to me, it's Krull.
Yeah, see, this is tough because like I see everything you're saying, but I'm thinking SpaceHunter for me, only because I think that like I can follow where they're going and what they're doing better, and it seems less random than Krull. Right. Krull seems more, because I do D&D again. I've said this 100 times. Krull seems like the guy had a lot of cool ideas and tried to make them fit into the story. I think SpaceHunter is more like, yeah, I can see, if they're thinking, okay, what is this planet like? Okay, what is it like? Okay, it's got this underwater area. It's got that Overlord guy in his area, and then we've got to get to that area, and then to get there, I've got to pass through, but I don't know where I'm going. I got a guide. It seemed like it just like I could follow it better. Like I'm like, yeah, okay, I know what they're doing now. And then, oh yeah, okay, they got through that part. Okay, good. So now they're on this part. Whereas Krull was like, wait, what's happening again? Like, okay, they need these things. Like, I still understood. I know it's a simple story. I know what's going on. I think they're both simple. They're both quests. Yeah. They're both point A to point B. I think SpaceHunter for me flows a bit better, where I can kind of tell where they're going and why they're going there a bit more. So I'm going to say SpaceHunter, but this is all going to be pretty close. It's going to be pretty close. I'll tell you where it's not close. This one's really close because they're the same. So I'm just picking SpaceHunter because I think in my mind, and I've watched them both a million times, it just flows a little bit better for me. Oh, you're Muslim uncle, man. How's it going, dude?
What's up, your Muslim uncle, man?
Hey. Oh, you got to watch SpaceHunter, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's underrated because like people might think of it as a cheapy thing. I mean, like Charlie, you probably thought that before you watched it, right? You thought, this freaking movie, and then it's like, oh my god, like
my one
effort into this thing, right?
I'll say this, and then I'm done. My biggest joy. This is I'm not being silly, or I'm not joking. My best takeaway from this entire space opera tournament is the fact that Charlie never saw SpaceHunter, and I got to kind of get him to watch it because I love when there's like a hidden gem from someone, and I wish I could have watched it with you.
Oh god,
yeah. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like there's a certain like, so you see, like Sean, I showed it to you, like you're like, I don't know, I'm like, we got to watch it again. You know, it's one of those ones where there's a few of these movies, like Turbo Kid. When my other friend Sean, when he's like, no, I never even heard of it. I was like,
love it.
I was like, I put the J-Man guarantee. Like, I'll fucking give you $10 cash for your time if you don't like Turbo Kid. And then I called him the next day. He called me the next day, and we were talking. I was like, hey, you didn't watch Turbo Kid, did you? He's like, no, I didn't know. How do you know? I'm like, well, I'm a psychic medium. No, I was like, I said, I know you didn't watch Turbo Kid because you just called me now, and the first words out of your mouth wasn't Turbo Kid's the best movie ever. That's how I know you didn't watch it. And then eventually a week later, he did call me. He's like, oh my God, Turbo Kid. I was like, now you've watched Turbo Kid, right?
That's it.
Anyway, all right. So I guess Sean, you want to go next for story?
This was close for me too. But I'll go with SpaceHunter because the thing is, and this is what I was leaning towards before, like my problem with Krull is that like I guess technically the side quests enrich the story, but not really. You could take them out. I mean, they seem like fetch questy and meandering to me. It doesn't. I feel like SpaceHunter is still one linear path. It's like they're going towards getting those girls, right? But I mean, to your point, Steve, like when they encounter the snot monsters or whatever those guys are, and encounter those women who then there's a really like crappy looking worm that the guy fight. I could take on that thing.
No, you can't.
And then those,
no,
yes, like,
you
you all
cannot,
can do. Come on, it's like this. It's like it's like. Anyway, and
I don't have to say a lot more.
And those girls come back going woo like that. It's like it does seem pointless. Only that it's a here's action scene. You know, It is awesome though. I mean, it's very Saturday morning cartoon, but I feel like I mean to J-Man's point, I can follow it easier because the thing with Krull is like let's go get this to do this to do this. And it's like, are they at the point where they're getting the thing to do this, to do this, to do this, or to do this, to do this? Like, what the frick is happening? You know, it's like I get that it's all to aid, like, you know, getting the glaive and finding out where to go, but it's like you don't really need all of that. It's like, and I think the story for SpaceHunter is just better, you know, and because it's like go get the girls. It's like we find all these other things, but I know that we're still going to get the girls and not going to get the thing to get the girls, or the thing to get the thing to get the girls, like, which is what Krull is. It's very fetch questy. And it's like before that was even a term, you know, it's like, what the hell? So yeah, I'm going to go with SpaceHunter on this one.
I'm going to give an example. We'll talk about this on Wednesday to bring that back in. Conan the Destroyer is like the A-class template for get a bunch of guys together and go on a mission, and it's like super cool. Like they fight, they get the Queen Teramis is like, we need the jewel, we need the horn. Okay, it's guarded by a wizard. Bang, take care of that guy. Bang, go to that underground cave, fight those guys. Bang, got the horn, come back, fight a creature. To me, it's 10 out of 10 in exact, like that template should just be copied. Like that was the template. That was the friggin' Thunderball Remember how they kept they just remake Thunderball
You
again?
remake Thunderball, yeah.
Because Thunderball was the perfect
yeah.
Thunderball is the perfect James Bond movie. It's like that is your quintessential template of what it is. It's like if you want to do a quest, just watch Conan Destroyer and literally just change the objects. It's like, okay, this is guarded by a dragon, and then this thing is guarded by like a sea serpent, and then you fight a creature. It's like literally just change the things, and that's your template for anytime I need to do something for D&D and I can't come up with an idea. I literally take Conan Destroyer and just change it. It's like 3 locations, 2 objects, a creature in between or an obstacle in between. That's it. That to me is perfect. Krull was there on that. It was like a bit like. It just like Conan Destroyer felt natural, whereas this was just like a little bit weird. Like, how is there a giant spider here? Oh, was that always there? Like, what's going on? That was my thing with it.
Yeah, how does that woman eat or sleep or
yeah,
take
like
a
it's
shit? Like how does that work?
It was almost not fantasy. It was, yeah. All right, go ahead, Charlie. What do you think?
I gotta follow take a shit. That's what I got. Thanks. I think because this was probably the closest category for these 2 movies, and I literally was like back and forth, and the way you guys have described it has made me realize that it is very much like a video game quest where SpaceHunter is the person that plays it to finish the game. Just I want to go through
right
beginning to end, and Krull was, oh, but you can get this achievement by going over here, or you can get this achievement by going over here. If you do this one, you might get a slightly different ending, and it's like, yeah, I think I want to stick with the straight and narrow on SpaceHunter. I'm not going to be like, coy about this. SpaceHunter is my favorite of both of these movies. And I just really enjoyed the bounty hunter, basically mercenary, whatever he was, gets on the planet. He's on a mission. He gets the girl. He gets a partner. He runs into all these different things as it goes. I can follow it. I never feel like, what just happened? Where am I at? I mean, even down to where they're, and then the underwater, which you should be like, well, that seems, if you put these movies side by side and played them together, I almost feel like they kind of hit the same beats at times. Like one part would be like in the swamp area, and then all of a sudden SpaceHunter would be in the water. They're very similar. They end up at Overlord's, place, and they end up at, the spaceship at the end of Krull. So it's a hair. I'm talking a hair. I would probably tie these movies.
I would tie them as well.
Yeah. But I'm gonna err to SpaceHunter, and as J-Man said, I had such a visceral reaction to this movie when I watched it for the first time in this tournament that I love it. I adore this movie. This one is going to be difficult if it wins, going up one of my other favorites. So we'll see how it goes. But SpaceHunter.
Yeah, I'm already foreseeing the final 2 movies, and it's going to be just as dramatic as. It'll be more dramatic than the first.
It's gonna hurt.
He's made the graphic already.
Yeah, no, I have not. I did that once in this tournament. And it bit me in the ass. I'm like, I'm not doing that again.
In the first one or no?
I did it in the qualifying. I'm like, well, this is obviously gonna win. And it's like, what?
That's awesome.
Like I didn't think Space Raiders would go anywhere, so I was like, yeah, that's not going anywhere. And then I'm like, well, I kind of like Space Raiders. I'm like, oh, that's okay. What am I going to do here? I'm like, it's not, So I almost got burned on Galaxina. I thought, well, Galaxina's not going anywhere for sure.
I fought so hard.
You fought for that one.
I fought so hard.
No, I'm with you. I'm looking for the poster. Like for Christ's sakes, I'm like, I
love it.
I'll go next for pacing. This is a no-brainer ever. It's SpaceHunter. SpaceHunter is 90 minutes. Which I'm gonna get I'm gonna get a back piece that says, "Can you stop effing making movies that are effing longer than effing 90 minutes? Please, God, please stop making movies that are longer than 90 minutes." I'm just gonna write that entire thing out on my back. It's like SpaceHunter's 90 minutes, and it's like, yes, everything is awesome. There's not one garbage. I've never turned away from SpaceHunter. I've never like, oh boy, what's going on? Krull is 120 minutes. No way. That is the sin of Krull. If Krull
it is.
Yeah, if Krull was 90 minutes, then I'm like, I got a giant spider, man. This is awesome. I don't care about side quests. I'd be like, this is all cool shit. But unfortunately, it's 2 hours. You're like, God, like you need to trim this. And then the end battle isn't really all that awesome. So that's the two sins of Krull. It's way too long. The end battle isn't as spectacular as it could have been. That's it. Otherwise, it's awesome. The characters are pretty good, right? So this is like a no-brainer. If someone's saying Krull, we need to talk and give a good reason as to why you think it's Krull, because I don't have any boredom in SpaceHunter at all. But Charlie, let's start with you then. What do you think? I mean, I know what you're going to say.
I'm literally just going to follow you up that it is absolutely 100% Space Raiders, because
Hunter.
Space Hunter.
I said
one
Space
of those.
Raiders.
You did. I had it in my brain because I was like, that was a good movie. But it is the fact that is actually what's killed Krull in the first one. Was it's way too long. We could cut way so much out of it and tighten it up. We've even compared it to other movies that are like, well, this movie's pretty much like Krull if they had sped it up a little bit. So I agree with you. The sin of Krull is the long ass runtime. And I have said it since we watched it. I hate the ending of Krull. They just, it feels like they phoned it in to me, and I'll never forgive it for that. Everything else is cool enough, but the glaive should have been the ultimate badass thing in the entire planet, and it wasn't. So that's my takeaway. So yeah, it's Space Hunter.
They could have, like, I would have wished he would have used it more as a weapon in fighting more people. Like running around, whipping it around, and
and slayers. Like it cuts through slayers, and it's like guys comes
like
destroy.
That's what I was thinking. Like, do it like that, and then that way, when it goes up against the big guy, and it's like taking a while, like, oh shit, this guy must be uber powerful.
Right. Set the expectation for why it took so freaking long to get through the door, to make it feel like, oh, that door has to be extremely powerful. And then how the guy was so resilient to the fight. Yeah, they dropped the ball on that one as far as I'm concerned when it comes to that.
You waited the whole movie to get that weapon for it to not really do a lot of cool stuff.
But that does not remove the iconicness of that weapon, though.
It's still awesome. It
is still an amazing weapon, and I won't ding it for that. It's just, well, it was in a little lava pit. We can just reach in and grab it. You just got to hop on rocks for 30 minutes. That's
by the way, we're impervious to fire on this planet. We won't tell you that, though.
Right? Yeah.
They could, there's a lot of stuff they could have fixed up in Krull, but okay. Steve, Steve, what do you think?
Space Hunter.
Right.
It's like Krull is unevenly paced, to be kind, right? Like, I get what they were trying to do. I feel a lot like there was other stuff they could have put in to replace stuff that wasn't there. Right, like give a little bit more breath to that whole thing with the woman trying to seduce Cohen, the main character. Like, that seemed to come out of nowhere, and then it advanced rapidly, and then it was over. Yeah. Right. Problem is, you got a 2-hour movie. At the end, the solution to killing the beast is what was presented at the beginning. It wasn't anything, like, it was cool, but it wasn't, why did we wait that 2 hours? The whole Cyclops thing when he's running to save, to intervene. Again, cool, but we didn't see that whole thing. He just, okay, he's coming now. Why? What was the thought process, right?
Right.
It's weird that, it's acceptable because it's still a cool conclusion, but you don't know how we got there a lot of the time. With Space Hunter, we always understood you got the very natural, I hate the word organic, so I will never use it. You got the very natural evolution of the relationship between, everyone, most overused word, especially in like film, is organic. Everyone uses organic. I think of tomatoes and like plums when I think of that. I refuse to use the word organic.
And it's overused there too, because everything's organic.
Yeah. Now everything's organic. You know what happens when everything is something? Nothing is something.
Anyhow, no one is special.
No. So, you got the natural evolution of the Molly Ringwald character with the main character. And it works. It feels very natural. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel rushed. right? You get a little taste of what Michael Ironside can do, and you don't need to see him thread it throughout, where we go back to the Beast 100,000 times, and he's not going to be successful in seducing, the girl. It's not happening. He can pretend to be, take the guise of the husband. It ain't happening. No. So yeah, I mean, SpaceHunter is obviously the better paced film.
All right, Sean.
Well, Krull put me to sleep for 39 years.
I know. That's why I saved you for last.
Yeah, it's like from day one, it's like, watching that in the summer, was it 83, right? It's always, and before this, before the first match, I finally got to watch the whole thing through. I don't know like how much caffeine I was on, but like I got through it in one sitting.
You heard my voice heckling you in your back of your head.
Yeah,
That's
it's like Steve's in my corner here, and Steve loves Krull, guys. So yeah. We all love Krull,
we all love it.
Yeah,
I mean,
not all the comics and everything. It's great, but
yeah,
I mean,
we're just putting it up against other movies, and we realize now, oh man, it's not as good as we thought it was. Still good, but not comparative to other things.
Yeah. But yeah, it's SpaceHunter. Come on, and it does zip along for me. It's a tight 90 minutes. I think it's like 85 minutes or something ridiculous. Yeah. Is it, or is it just a solid 90?
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's 90. Wikipedia says it's actually 90, like 90.
90, like
wow. That's
right
beautiful.
on. Yeah.
I think what I'm counting is I think it's 85 minutes, and then there's like 5 minutes of
right credits or something
of credit roll. So yeah, no, I'm gonna go with SpaceHunter, man. Come on, of course. And Krull is famously slow, so yeah. Those freaking horses at the end, god damn it. Anyway,
well, Sean, let's stay with Sean for artistry then. What
artistry, this was hard for me too.
This is hard.
Because the thing is, Krull is touch and go, and I feel SpaceHunter is touch and go as well. But I'm gonna say, of course, SpaceHunter edges out Krull, only because there's a lot more craft and imagination to what they're doing. Like, the main bad guy doesn't have to be a dude on like freaking hung from whatever with like big claws, but he is because it's awesome, mm-hmm. and they made a big practical version of that, right? And all of those machines. What was the name of that Tonka line? Was it Metal Monsters or something like that? It's like a Mad Max kind of toy line, but like that's what these things.
Metal Movers.
Like. What?
Metal Movers.
Metal Movers. Is that what that really called?
Oh no,
that doesn't ring a bell at all.
Well, there is something called Metal Movers.
Oh yeah,
not it,
but yeah, no, the things are awesome. They don't look as rickety as the only thing that looks rickety is the big snow shovel blade on the front of a what's his name's
Ernie Hudson's
vehicle. But it's supposed to, because it always falls off anyways. So it's like, what's the point of that thing if it can't take a hit, right? But yeah, no, all those things look awesome. I think what's touch and go for me for SpaceHunter is it's uneven. I did mention the weird sort of like strewn about quality of the sets. They just look like someone just like put stuff around. They don't look very natural to the environment. I know what they're trying to go for is that like these guys just took from anything and built a society, right? But like it looks sort of stage playish at times too. Especially that area where those women are, and that underwater area. Just everything looks like a freaking Broadway stage show sometimes. And the matte lines are really bad in space. I feel like they had multiple teams working on this, and some of the stuff was great. Like the miniature stuff is great, and some stuff isn't. But there's more imagination at play there for SpaceHunter. Krull, we've talked about it before. There's some impressive looking sets in some of those sound stages, like like the swamp area and stuff. The Slayers are awesome. I don't know why they're not copied somewhere else. The Glaive is great, like just despite that it can't do anything, but but it looks awesome, and the music is amazing, right? But I think SpaceHunter edges out all of that, just with the sheer just imagination of all the different ships and the big like machine vehicles and stuff, and a crazy villain. Like the crazy, like you put way too much effort into this villain. So yeah.
Okay. This one is tough because it's visual different things. Like both movies have issues. Oh my god. I think SpaceHunter for me. The thing is that I remember the areas better. So for whatever reason, the sets stayed in my mind more. Like there's like a maze of like blades and like I mean like what the hell, like who, that's pretty awesome. Like I just felt like the locations seemed cooler and the vehicles were bad. Like when I saw the vehicles, I was like, if I say this is better than Road Warrior, is someone gonna beat me up? Because like I'm like, I don't know. If you ask me, like if you asked Little J, he would have been like, "Oh, SpaceHunter's got better vehicles." But obviously, Road Warrior is my top 10 favorite films of all time, and SpaceHunter is not in my top 10 favorite films of all time. But Krull isn't in my top 10 favorite films of all time either. So, for me, it's like SpaceHunter. I just think it was cooler. I don't know. I like the giant spider though. That whole area was cool. I do like that like Cyclops looks cool. That's probably maybe the best Cyclops I've seen ever, because they're usually either very cheap looking.
Yeah.
And this one was very believable, like with the eye and everything. I was like, wow, that guy's really cool. Yeah, I mean the mountain looks cool. Like the villain is pretty awesome, though I can't remember his name, of course, now. It just slipped my mind. Beast. Yeah, it's like he looked pretty. Like I thought he looked cool. I know some people are like, oh, he didn't look that good. He looked pretty cool to me. Yeah, I think SpaceHunter, man. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of thought into it. They're like, how can we make this cooler? Oh, I have an idea. What if we made a maze of death that has spikes and saws? It's like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Like it's just like someone thinking the way I'm thinking. Like they're sitting down, it's like, okay, so they get to Ironside. What are they gonna do? Or maybe he's got maybe he's like a guy with like friggin' like machines and claws. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, put that in there. Well, what else? Yeah, you could have a maze of shit. Oh, awesome. Like it just seems like they put a lot of cooler ideas into it. That's just me. So I think SpaceHunter, though it is still kind of close, they do have some problems. I don't mind the bubble wrap. I don't know why Sean's on this bubble wrap thing. It's like, everyone likes bubble wrap, so it doesn't matter.
Except the stuff that's unpoppable. I hate that shit.
Oh, you don't like? Yeah. All right, so Charlie, what about you?
Dude, it's SpaceHunter, man. It's Mad Max in space. Any movie that's got vehicles like that. I mean, this went up against Metal Storm, which the only reason it didn't win is because Metal Storm's story didn't go anywhere.
Right.
But I love that whole feel of those type of movies, vehicles and insane like settings and gangs, and I love everything about SpaceHunter when it comes to this. I love the settings. It's like a desert planet. I don't need a ton of stuff going on. And then that makes it even cooler when they basically almost go into a building and now we're in a swamp like water area. That was totally unexpected. And Overlord's like fortress is awesome looking. Period. And like when they show it, okay, fine, there might be some issues with the mat and stuff like that, but I love the look of it. And Michael Ironside. Michael Ironside is better than every effect in Krull, as far as I'm concerned. You're not expecting that when you see him in full setup. It is just like, holy shit. That was what I said when I watched this movie for the first time, this tournament. Like literally Michael Ironside pops up and I went, holy shit, this is amazing. I loved it. And then there's a maze of death. It's like American Gladiators.
Yes.
Yeah.
American Gladiators, the best show ever.
Yeah. I loved all of how it looked. Now there are some good things with Krull, but again, it's just never enough to overshadow. Like it didn't overshadow Yor for me. It barely got over on Ice Pirates. Actually, I think I probably picked Ice Pirates over Krull just because of all of everything they put into Ice Pirates overshadowed the
did.
artistry. Yeah,
You
overshadowed
did.
that.
You did. I've got the
Yeah.
history, so you can't go back and say you said something. I've got it.
No,
all
I
here.
try to stay fairly accurate. I mean, you know, it's about trying to remember exactly. I may not remember numbers if we were doing that,
No, I
but
don't.
I can
Yeah, I didn't do
remember
the
which
yeah.
ones I picked. But no, it's Space Hunter hands down for me on artistry.
All right, Steve, you are up.
Krull.
All right.
Who said that?
Me.
Steve's fighting the Galaxina battle here.
Yeah, I'm never going to give up on this. I don't, you know, you guys can wear down Krull when I don't care. The fact is that the artistry between the two movies is very close to me. It's, you know, both have their impressive pieces. I had a little bit of problem with Krull. SpaceHunter, I didn't really have any problems with anything. I have zero idea what Sean's talking about. But the thing that sways me for artistry is the music of Krull.
Yeah,
the music of Krull enhances every scene that it shows up in. SpaceHunter doesn't. That's literally the line. Otherwise, there's nothing. I have nothing to say. Michael Arnside is impressive. I love the look of SpaceHunter. I love the barge. You know, I love the maze. I love the interior of the beast. I love the Cyclops. I'm not really going to argue too much on either side. To me, the swaying factor is literally, I think that the music of Krull is fantastic, and I didn't feel the same way about SpaceHunter. That's it.
That's fair. No, that's fair. I think the music of Krull is better
It's
than
awesome.
most of the movies we've done. I mean, I will agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. Characters. Who wants to go? Let's go, Charlie. What do you think?
I'll go first. And I know this goes against like usually what you would think about, because Krull has so many characters. They do kind of dive into them. But for me, that's the problem. I have too many people to keep up with and what they're doing and what does that guy do again? Now there's a kid running around. Now there's all this in what I like a lot of times for movies. Again, the factor it's a 90-minute movie is SpaceHunter. I know who my characters are. I am not like overburdened by a ton. When they want to throw in characters, they're a gang. I don't need to know everyone's name and the gang they're fighting. I need to know that there's a gang of kids throwing grenades at people in a junkyard. That's all I need in that. You know, I don't need like all these underlings under the Overlord. I need to know Overlord's badass. Everyone listens to him. That's all I need to know. And so I have my main characters. I feel like I can connect with them better. I enjoy them. And it's Ernie Hudson too. That I can follow SpaceHunter's character line and choices easier than I can with Krull. And that's what I'm going to base that off of it gets convoluted with Krull for me, just way too many characters. And then you get introduced to a character and he dies, you know, just with the old wizard and stuff like that. And then I get a character of the girl who I'm supposed to care we're going to save. She's wandering around the building the entire movie, not adding anything to the story whatsoever. And, you know, there's still things that aren't explained in Krull that's annoying. You know, it's like, I need to know more. I knew more about the people on the train in SpaceHunter than I knew about the whole, like, culture of what Krull and, you know, Eowyn and all those guys are. You know, we don't know about the fire thing. We don't know about anything else about them. I know more about the guys on the train in SpaceHunter than them. So I'm going SpaceHunter for characters.
All right. Steve?
SpaceHunter. Not to be a douche, but, you know, to pull out the writer thing. If you're a writer, the first thing you do is you build your main characters, and if you got time, you build out the supporting characters if they're important to the story. I feel like the supporting characters in Krull are better than the supporting characters in SpaceHunter, but the important thing is the main characters, and the main characters in SpaceHunter clearly are better than the main characters in Krull. I think that for a lot of the movie in Krull, we're trying to prove why everyone is pumped up for Cohen, right? Like the main character. it's hard to really like a character when you're continuing to establish why you've made such a fuss over him. I totally agree with Charlie. The main girl, Lizette Anthony, she adds nothing to the movie whatsoever, other than she's got a badly dubbed over voice. I feel like the main villain, Mike Ironside, is clearly better than the Beast. Like, it's not even close. Has a lot more character to him. It's to me like the Molly Ringwald character, the Ernie Hudson character. Wolf. I think it's Wolf is the main character, right? Like, they're all awesome. Like,
Wolf Washington, Nikki Overlord.
Yeah, Nikki Wolf Washington.
Yeah. Like, they're all awesome. And I don't feel the same way about the Krull characters. And I agree also with Charlie that when I was rewatching Krull, I was literally timing off my head. Like, well, wait a minute. How many people were in the band? Now there's how many? Well, when did this guy die? Well, what did he do? Like, there was guys with whips and that. Like, if your name wasn't Robbie Coltrane or Liam Neeson, or the old guy at the beginning, I didn't know who you were. Maybe the kid who first joined with him from the band, and of course the band leader, right?
Yeah.
But if you weren't those 4 or 5 side characters, and there was a band of like 15, 16 of them, most of them were cannon fodder. Like, guy runs along and he gets hit and he falls off a bridge. Cool.
Yeah.
So, like, that was the problem. So I have to give it clearly to SpaceHunter on this one.
Okay.
I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and say real quick though, I'm totally surprised by that reaction. Period. I am really taken aback by Steven's choice on that. But
well, I just
wanted to say
it is
the fact that you went on as a writer, but I just wanted to say that I really, it helps me feel like I'm not just like being a fanboy for SpaceHunter. Like, these are really things I think.
Yeah.
I'm not just trying to piss on Krull because it is a good movie. But you caught me on that one, Steven. I like it.
Sometimes I surprise.
Yeah. Where's the handshake video? That's what we need real quick. There, Jay, man. Where's the handshake?
Oh, which one?
You know which one, man.
No,
that's good too.
There we go.
There it is.
That's the only one. I know Godzilla and like Jet Jaguar is awesome too, but like we only want the mega powers.
Here's one then for Steve.
There we go. If only.
Never going to argue about that one.
Man.
Yeah, I'm totally in.
That based on a true story. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't do that when I'm drinking.
Sorry, I did. I'm just going with SpaceHunter because I would buy the toys for both. So we're usually when these kinds of movies, I go into my toy self. I would buy toys for Krull in 2 seconds. I would buy toys for SpaceHunter, but SpaceHunter also has vehicles. No, but
it's all about the play sets, man.
Play sets,
they look like Kenner things, man. It's like there's a guy on a gun turret, and there's
it's good.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I like everybody in SpaceHunter. When SpaceHunter was on this list, I thought everyone was going to come on here and destroy Molly Ringwald, Nikki, and I thought I'm going to have to sit here and defend this character because I think she's a bloody genius in this movie. I think it's played perfectly. I don't know. Like, I felt that she was that person. She was in the wastelands and she wants out, but she has to pretend she's kind of tough. You know what's funny? Wow. I just thought of this right now. This is crazy. The way Nikki is in the beginning of her, like character in the movie, she's like, oh, I'm strong and tough and whatever. And this is what now Hollywood thinks is a strong female character, but in fact she's actually kind of weak and sad and alone, and she desperately wants to get out and she wants to go with this guy. And you know what, and they're never going to show that because like an actual strong person wouldn't care. They wouldn't be clingy or trying to pretend that they're strong. This is what they do now. That's like, oh, I'm this big strong person, and it's like, well, you're not, because a real strong person doesn't need to go around saying that they are.
Yeah,
right?
Winners don't complain.
Right. So exactly. Yeah. So I think she's a genius. I think it's a great performance. Wolf is cool. Like, every character is exactly who you need them to be. Wolf is a cool guy. You're following the hero. He's going to be awesome. When Washington comes in, you're on Wolf's point of view. You're like, well, who's this guy? But you're like, I kind of like this Washington guy. He's kind of, and then you're thinking, shit, they got to team up. They got to team up or something. And then he comes, okay, let's team up. I'm like, oh man, yeah, here you go. They're teaming up, right? And he's like, well, why should I team up with you?
Right. It's reluctantly. Yeah. I like it.
I like all of that stuff. I think like when Washington came in and I thought, oh, they're not going to team up. I'm like, I want to see a movie about Washington going on adventures and doing stuff because he's cool. And it's like, oh, they're teaming up. This is sick. And as soon as it ended, I'm like, they need to do SpaceHunter 2. I want to see them going on adventures.
Yeah.
Because he lost his cyborg lady in the beginning.
Yep.
And now he's got another team. And I'm like, this is so cool. Whereas when Krull ended, I'm like, okay, cool. They ended, they're going to live happily ever after. That's the end of it. Because I don't care about those characters going on other adventures because they've completed their thing. Whereas this is like more open. It's like, I want to see, like, Yor flies off in the ship. What's he going to do now? I want to see more. So I'm going with SpaceHunter. Sean?
I think Chalmers dying was a loss too, because she was pretty, like, she's pretty cool in that first few minutes she's in it. It's like, well, that's a great character, man. I love her.
Yeah.
What was it? Emergency protocol or emergency repair protocol 1 or something like that?
Yeah, they came up with the name.
I love that.
Yeah, it's cool. SpaceHunter. The thing is that like in Krull they were going by archetypes and everything, and so a lot of the characters are just like, I'm the hero, I'm the wizard, I'm the kid with the wizard, or the bandits have a little bit of personality at times. Like Liam Neeson's macking on that woman, and he's like, oh yeah, I know, like you're the only one, right? But that's few and far between. It seems kind of shoehorned in. And at the very end, I really love that moment where the main bandit's like, oh, I'm gonna keep these manacles, right? That's awesome, but like you gotta wait for 2 hours to get to that. And it would have been nice if that personality was throughout the film, with different lines and vignettes and cool asides that that enhance all the characters. SpaceHunter doesn't need that. It's got a good cadence of a lot of charm and went with all the characters. Washington's cool, like he really does want his help when they team up, and like he's acting all like, oh, I'm not gonna give you water yet, but then he's like, okay, here's the deal, It's like, oh, even kicking 200 more, megs or whatever, but Nikki's cool, Molly Ringwald, like, this is probably one of the best things she's ever done.
This is her best role.
She's got to be 14 or something.
14 in this.
But
we looked that up last time.
Yeah, we binged, like Jen and I binged. She binged. That's Facts of Life. So, but I
Sean
gave it away.
Listen, Sean, if you take the good, you take the bad.
You take the bad. You take them both. There you have the Facts of Life.
There's a time you got to go and show.
So we could do the whole thing. But no, she's in the first season of that because it used to be a school, and then they went down to the floor, and she's she's awful in that show. I was like, oh my god, like her eyes are dark. You could tell like someone's like holding up a card for her. And between that and this is like maybe 3 years apart. Between that and this, like she's really poised and like an actual seasoned actor in this one. She's pretty good. I like the dude playing Wolf. He's cool. All of it's good, like Over Dog's awesome. Like what the hell, man? Even those two dicks that come in is like, oh, we're gonna camp here for a bit.
Yeah, they're neat too. They're like part of the faction and
like
stuff.
My brother's okay. Listen, we're gonna help you out, man. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
like team up with more guys. There's a lot more cool moments and like fist pumping, like team up and stuff moments in SpaceHunter that really like enhance everything. So SpaceHunter, man.
Well, SpaceHunter's won already because it's already won a category. We're still gonna go through enjoyment, talk about what we like about it. For me, I mean, SpaceHunter, choose 15. There you go.
Yeah.
Look, Space Hunter for me is like a masterpiece. I love this movie. I loved it from the first second I bought it for $10 on VHS and popped it, and I thought this is the greatest thing ever. As a kid, you don't do too much comparison. We've talked about this on Owen's stream on the Action Elite when we were talking about Indiana Jones and Alan Quatermain. I like King Solomon's Mines, Alan Quatermain, Lost City of Gold. The poster's right there. Thank you, Steve, for picking that up for me. That's my favorite poster. I thought Alan Quatermain and Indiana Jones was equal. Like King Solomon's Mines, Alan Quatermain, Lost City of Gold, Temple of Doom, Raiders. That's like my 4 favorite movies. I wanted to be an archaeologist. I literally in grade 7 did a thing. I went even in first year university. I was taking like courses to do because I love archaeology. I love that stuff. I know they don't fight Nazis. But anyways, I used to watch all the specials. Every time they unlock something, I was like, oh, what's going to happen? You know, I'd watch all those National Geographic things. So I love that stuff. Space Hunter, to me, it's like Space Hunter, Mad Max, like Star Wars. I wasn't thinking, well, Star Wars is obviously way better than these other ones. Like I was just like, no, this is all like the best ever. Now you can go back and critically look back and be like, wow, like, you know, obviously there's a lot of layers in the Road Warrior and there's a lot of stuff that, you know, you notice now. If you're watching as an action picture, like that's cool. Like I was like, Wolf is cool. He's going on adventures and doing stuff. I'm like, Mad Max, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't want to help people. He's like, I don't care about anybody. I'm like, well, you're not a cool hero. Like I was more pumped up for the other guy, you know, like it's so it's like I never thought about these things. Now, obviously, there's complexities to Max and there's no complexities to the characters and thingy, but like I never thought of it that way. Like I was almost thinking Space Hunter's too good for this. Like I was almost thinking this is the too good movie to have in this versus the Enemy Mine movie because like I love space. I wasn't sure if everyone else would have thought the same way. That was my thing. So I'm not sure what other people would have thought of this because I watched it a lot as a kid. Like, and my buddy Sean, the other Sean, that was like our movie that we would watch all the time too. It's like, oh yeah, freaking, because we love Michael Ironside. So anything he was in, we're just like, yeah, this is the best. Visiting Hours and all those like crappy Canadian movies he was in.
Yeah. Scanners, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I love Scanners. That's my favorite
awesome.
Cronenberg movie.
Yeah. I just recently rewatched it. I'm like, Jesus, this doesn't fail to impress. It doesn't matter when you watch it.
Oh,
man.
I love Scanners.
I thought, it's gonna look like a crappy 70s thing. No, it's still awesome. Yeah.
I would do a show on Scanners. They don't want me to do my version because it'd be too awesome, and they never want my version of anything because it's too good. It's too action focused. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like Willow. We'll do a tangent in a minute, but
oh my God,
I'm saying Space Hunter. I love Space Hunter. I think it's awesome. Charlie, you can go next because I already know what you like.
Yeah, my enjoyment is Space Hunter. I grew up with Krull, and I didn't visit it a whole lot. You know, I watched it a handful of times. I told about the first time I got denied watching it. That's always stuck in my brain. But you know, I had visited a few times. Space Hunter, since we started this tournament, I've probably watched it 3 times. You know, I will just turn it on. You know, it's on Tubi right now, and I just enjoy the hell out of this movie. It did get me amped up. I do get excited watching this movie. I don't get excited watching Krull. You know, I think a lot of, then it's not unfounded, but a lot of the love of Krull is the nostalgia of how you felt as a kid. And my love of Space Hunter as an adult far exceeds my excitement of watching Krull as a kid. You know, it's not even close to how much more I enjoyed this movie over Krull. And I think young me, had I watched Space Hunter, I'd have been the same thing. I would have been like Star Wars, Space Hunter, you know, anything to have to do with that. And, you know, Michael Ironside. God, Michael Ironside is the cherry on top in this movie. Yep. And I'll take it all day long. So, yep, Space Hunter.
All right. And could not be reached. I just added this to my cart, so I'll check. I will check this. I will first try my friend Captain Hook, and if my friend Captain Hook can deliver it to me, then I will go there. If not, then I will get it. Steven, what did you? Did you like Krull more?
No.
You like Space Hunter more than Krull?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, what happened?
Well, here's the thing. I'm now mid-40s.
Right.
I'm not a kid anymore. Like as a kid, I adored Krull. It was one of my, you know, top 10, top 15, top 20 fantasy movies. I thought it was terrific. You know, it was an adventure. Again, great music. I liked all the subplots. You know, the wizard. I love the sound effects, like of the worms when they got shot, like the swears when they got shot, and you know, like the seeing the worms go, the quicksand, all that stuff. Love the horses. I got pumped up when I see them riding, and that music would swell. Yeah, I mean, as a kid, but I'm an adult now, and I got to spend 2 hours watching them struggle through the story. And SpaceHunter's a breezy 90-minute thing, and it gave me a lot of thrills. And yeah, it's to me, the adult, it's got to be SpaceHunter, because it gets to the point. It gives you a lot of good stuff in between, and you know, it gives you a satisfying journey that doesn't take forever to get there. Krull does. And I still love Krull. I still love the glaive. I still love, you know, the red herring doesn't bother me. I love that he uses the flame of their love to, you know, I know it's cheesy, but whatever. He uses it to kill the beast. I like all that stuff. Nothing has changed except that I now understand a lot better the mechanics of movie making, and I fall more into the trappings of with you know, I need to get to the point. If you read any of my books, please read any of my books. I try and get to the point and not meander too long. And Krull meanders too long.
Okay, Sean.
Even though I voted for SpaceHunter in all categories, and Krull put me to sleep for 39 years, I'm going to say Krull.
Oh my God!
Here's the thing, man. Comic adaptations work in terms of like ingraining something in a kid for life, and like I can't not like separate the iconography of Krull and the way it makes me feel when I watch it from the movie. I just can't do it. I can't. So it's Krull, man. I still pop it in, you know, when I want to sleep. No, but I still.
Damn it, that's my joke.
Yeah, yeah. I still pop it in when I'm working on something and I want something in the background that I can look away every so often. You know, you know, it's cool. Like I'm still gonna go with Krull. It's too ingrained in my DNA.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it.
Nostalgia's a hell of a drug.
It really is, man.
Yeah.
It's why we're doing this anyway. I know.
Yeah.
It's just awesome when you're 40 and you find something new, though, that you missed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love that so much. And it's almost better than being the kid that found a movie that was only 2 years old. You go and you find a movie that's almost 40 years old and it still makes you feel like a kid again. You know?
Yeah, I try to find, like, anytime people like come over for the first time, I always like look for, like, there's a few movies where it's like, oh, I got to show them this. It's like I always ask, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And then we pop those in or whatever. But yeah, like SpaceHunter, man, like it's just like so awesome, because it's like I watched it all a bunch of times. But it's one of those movies where it's like you don't know if other people know about it really, because you're not thinking, like, when you're a kid watching these, you're not thinking too much. Like I thought I discovered Fire and Ice. Like I was like. Yeah. Nobody knows what this movie is. I'm the only person who knows what this is. It's like Frazetta. Nobody knows who Frazetta is. I'm the only person who knows who Frank Frazetta is. And then you're like, oh, everyone knows who Frank Frazetta is. And I had there was an older kid who lived in my neighborhood who collected the Conan. He collected the Conan magazine, but all of the magazines that were the fantasy ones, right?
Yeah.
And I would go to his place. He's like, check out my like collection. I was like, this is and they were black and white. Normally that's a turnoff. But I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, what is this? Like, I didn't know that these comics existed. He's like, oh yeah, this is, you know. So I was like, holy crap. And it's like, it's just like that. It's like that feeling of like, wow, I went to the store and bought this for $10 and it's like SpaceHunter. What's this shitty? You know, people are like, not me. Like, I'm like, this looks awesome, you know? And they're like, wow, this is the best movie ever. And it's like, wow. Even Krull a little bit seemed like it's like, do people know about this? And then once you start meeting other people, and then there's internet. Once internet comes in, you're like, oh, there's like Krull communities and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But take the glaive out of it. That is to me what I still feel like is the most iconic thing of it and what people remember. Take the glaive out of it, make it a sword. You know, how many people remember Sword and Sorcerer with a 3-blade sword? Not a lot of people actually do remember that movie a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know, but the glaive, because it's on the cover of the VHS, it's always been, you know, every kid knew that weapon. That's kind of what part of the carrying it on and keeping it fresh in everyone's mind did.
And the poster was awesome. I had a shirt of it.
Yeah.
I had the shirt. I had the chance to buy the poster, and I didn't. And I thought, you know, no one's gonna really grab this, and I did. So after we had the streams, I went and I got and I made sure I got Metal Storm, and I'm gonna get SpaceHunter next trip down. My wife's looking to get a couple of Hobbit posters for her room. So next time I go down, I'm gonna grab this press book. They've got the press book. They've got the lobby cards.
Yep.
And I'll grab the thing. It'll be like $60-$70 for the whole set.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad
so I'm gonna grab the SpaceHunter poster next time I go. Sometimes Steve goes like Steve picked up the Alan Quatermain, The Lost City of Gold, which is like my favorite poster. Some of the posters I've had to order, but this warehouse is it's a warehouse of movie posters.
Yep.
And it's
awesome.
It's like a 25-minute drive or something. So
Worth
it's awesome to go and check that stuff out.
I got to replace my Brothers Grimm poster. I noticed a slight tear in the corner, so I got to replace it.
Okay.
This isn't the way to Grandma's house.
Oh yeah, I like that poster with Red Riding Hood going into the darkness or whatever.
Yeah.
But so Sean, you found those. They're called. They're actually called Steel Monsters. That was the Tonka thing we were talking about earlier.
Oh, okay. They're like Mad Max Tonka toys.
Yeah. Yep. Used to make your own glaives out of Yes, I did that too.
Well, yeah, I remember doing that.
Yeah.
Well, like I told you guys, Walmart had a cheap glaive knockoff at Halloween that it had like all the little blades that would actually spring load out. And it was like $10. It didn't say glaive on it. It was a knockoff, but you walk up to it and go, that's the glaive. I know what that is. You know.
You know what I just remember? I wish I'd kept these. This is the craziest thing ever. I had, and this was branded with the poster. I had American Ninja weapons for kids, and it was the American Ninja poster of the one where Dudakov's going like this,
right, holding it straight down,
holding it straight.
Yeah,
and it was like a sword, and it was it said American Ninja, and it was shooting stars like shurikens, but they were suction cup.
What?
I had 100%.
It's a rack toy. It's like they always just label slap stuff, and it's like the actual toy itself wouldn't have like a label on it. But
but
still, that's awesome.
That is crazy, and it was there, and it said American Ninja, and I had it for sure. And I remember about maybe 5 or 6 years ago when I remembered this, I looked it up and I saw them like on the internet, so they were a real thing. I was like, was this a real thing? Could it have really been American Ninja, or did I make that up? Right. And it really was an American Ninja. I was like, I can't believe it.
You look it up and it said Americans Ninjas. They're trying to do the bootleg knockoff of things like that. That's awesome.
With like a K, American.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they would have changed it up just a little bit.
I have a whole book of rack toys made by the guy who does Plant Stallions, Brandon. And I'm pretty sure I saw that on there as well. But he said he was doing all these like knockoff action figures as well. Like that's a section in there. And he was floored by the amount of Charles Bronson figures. Wow. It's like, are you as surprised by the Charles Bronson figures as I am? It's like guys with like Charles Bronson's head on like a big He-Man body. It's like
I want that. Those. I want that now. Yeah. That's exactly.
So some guy made your.
I saw the your post about it. I mean, customs now, especially with the Origins line and Revelations line coming out, they're everywhere and they're doing great stuff. But the old school like bootleg knockoff, like gas station pharmacy, like where we get a lot of those. That those were fun. Those were funner than we remember.
Yeah. And the Remco-ish type of,
the Remco stuff. And I mean,
the head on a He-Man body, and
that was Remco was just like, let's swap heads and bodies depending on the movie or the program we were doing, because I think they had like a Hercules / like Conan knockoff.
Yeah. Well, they did Warlord.
The Warlord
that's what it was.
Yeah,
it was the real
mix, right? Yeah.
But when you look at it, it's like, well, these are just cheaper He-Men. That's
Yeah.
what they look like when you were a kid.
But the card art was amazing. Oh my!
I know.
gosh.
I've looked them up. I was like, I had all these. I'm like, damn it! As a kid, I had all these on card.
I remember the Sergeant Rock figures. I think that was Remco as well.
This is the only that I could find newer official Warlord.
Yeah, it's based on the
Animated
Justice
series.
League
Yeah.
figures, right?
Yeah, okay.
With the toothpick legs and the big. I still don't like that design work, but yeah.
I don't like it either. But I love the Warlord. This is the only toy.
Yeah,
I
the
could
fact
get.
that they made one, it's probably the only one.
That's the only one I have. I can't. Those Remco ones are expensive. I would get it.
I
immediately.
have 2 or 3 in a tote floating around somewhere. I've got like the Native American looking guy, the one that looks like Hercules.
Yeah, who is called Hercules?
It is Hercules, and I think I had Warlord. I think I had that guy right there. But I know they're floating around in a tote with all my He-Men, with like my Thundercats and stuff like that. Childhood toys.
The Remco Cry Kid stuff was awesome. Like they made Chosen and they made Sato, and they even made the arena that looks like the one from the movie, and they made the referee exclusive figure, which looks like the guy from the movie. It's crazy.
I mean, when they could get the rights to it, it looked great. Who did the Chuck Norris Commando?
Oh, I've got Chuck Norris.
That
wasn't Remco. That was another.
No, was it LGN?
Might have been LGN. They had similar like action features to the Karate Kids ones. Where he could do the chop or his leg would pop up. It was.
I sold so many of those flipping ones. The ones where he has the weird jacket.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of carded ones, and I like an idiot, I sold them.
Karate Commandos, that's what it was.
Karate Commandos. Everything's with a K. Yeah.
Exactly. It all with a K. Yep, I got that one.
I've got this one. Yeah.
Yep, I got the blue one. I don't have any. I never got bad guys a whole lot as a kid. I would never get like the villains. I don't know why my
Super
parents.
Ninja, that was his name.
Yeah. He-Man, I got villains, but not with these like movie versions. Like I had Rambo. None of the bad guys.
This one, I've seen this one. I don't like this.
Why?
It's not him. This is like kind of like fixed up or whatever.
It's not the classic 70s one.
Right.
Basically. Right.
It's like if they redid it as a Revelation, that's what it would have been like.
Mm.
Those 3 right there. I have Eric, I have Hercules, and I'm pretty sure I've got Warlord floating around somewhere. What's that?
I literally want all of these so badly.
Yeah. What's the group picture up there at the top?
Oh, it's the Hercules Unbound Hercules. Oh my god, I gotta get
go.
that. I have the entire series, so I can't believe I didn't know that was the Hercules Unbound figure. I thought it was just Hercules.
Well, Sean, don't get he's configured different. There's a few different versions of him.
Yeah.
I think Plaid Stallions.
Yeah, but that card art, like, was that a custom card art or no?
No, that's the real card art right here.
Okay, well then hell, I gotta get that.
Yeah, Hercules Unbound. That's Steve Reeves, right?
Oh my god. I didn't know that was part of the line. No one knows that comic series.
Go to I think Plaid Stallions did a thing on this.
Yeah,
that guy was at the toy show last week that you didn't go to.
Yeah, he lives around here, and maybe I'll catch him this Sunday.
We should just find him. We should just find him. It's like, dude, let's meet up, man. Like you're like, come on the show or something.
Well, I subscribe to his magazine, Toy Ventures. So.
Yeah, cool. I don't have that guy. Yeah, I think I had those main 3 right there, which basically are the good guys. Right. Once again, I only ever bought the good guys.
Anyhow, guys, I'm going to call it.
All right.
All right, brother.
Take care. Talk to you soon.
Take it easy, Steven. All right, bye.
So the Fortress of Doom was an official
I don't know. This is insane.
It looks awesome.
Well,
even
there's
even nothing playsets looked awesome.
That almost looks like one of the cardboard ones they would sell, but don't forget this was also the heyday that it would be in the catalog and never got released.
And never come out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They were all just like
I'm still waiting for the Visionaries Iron Mountain. It's like
right, yeah, we never got.
Where is that thing? It's like in every piece of art, and yeah.
My favorite is there's like a few pages that like reshare like the Sears catalogs from when we were kids, and they would mix lines like G.I. Joe and like the Action Force, like looking vehicles of like, that's not G.I. Joe, but damn it, it looks cool. And that's what because they didn't tell them that stuff when they were photographing them. But yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Whew.
Yeah, no, I need to get all these. I have that on my phone. It's like just to like find them all. It's like
I'll try and dig those out for the Conan.
Oh
stream
yes,
Wednesday.
I have so much Conan. It's like, well, I have so much Conan, so I can't go dig it all. It's just
no. I figured you could.
It's not happening.
You're
like,
literally sitting in the cave of Conan right now. So.
I have the posters from everything. I can't. I don't have the big full swords. Could Not Be Reached has the full sword, I think, of either the Atlantean sword or Conan's father's sword. I don't know which one he has or if he has both, but I want to get those. Do you know what's carved? What it says on Conan's father's sword?
I knew a long time ago. But
Suffer no guilt, ye who wield this in the name of Crom.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's
I wanted to show you real quick before what's the time? Yeah, we got a minute or two before we.
Yeah, we got a little
while. Where's my? I make these little characters out of cardboard, and I do them on Photoshop, and then you fold them into little characters. I've done 4 million. Okay, it's absolutely stupid, and I've done like who are we talking about? Oh, check this. Okay, hold on. I wonder if I could share. I guess I could share. I wonder if I could share this. Probably can. You have both. I thought so. Could Not Be Reached. Yeah, you've got both shorts. Yeah, I thought so. No. Oh yes, I can. Oh yes, you can. Okay. So I did this, which is I didn't create this one, but I just did the pink on him because that's what happened. But no, I want to show you. Oh, look! I did Billy Jack.
Oh, Billy.
That's his body and his hat.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, I did Billy Jack, but I wanted to show you. Where's what's the guy's name from? What's the Scanners? What's the name of the character that he plays?
From Scanners.
Revik.
Okay.
Oh, you can't see it because I can only share one at a time. All right, get to Revik fast. I did Conan ones.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I did this, the Critters Ball.
I like that. That was the Critters Ball. That is amazing.
Doc Savage, different versions of him. I did Dr. Solar. Yeah, I did Dusty Rhodes. Who's that? Oh, I did Phantomas.
That's cool.
I should give that. I should give that to you. I did. I did the creatures from.
From War of the
World War Gargantuas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we on? He-Man H. Okay, let's go fast. Like I literally have 4,000 of these. I've done everybody could.
Pretty sure I saw Judge Dredd back there.
I did Judge Dredd, of course. I can post it.
Damn.
Yeah, send me the Judge Dredd one later.
Sure. Yeah. I've got. Okay, here we go. Oh, I did Ramirez.
Oh, that is awesome.
from Thingy Red Range.
And you can actually remove his head. That's even better.
Yes. Oh my God, you're right.
That's how I would have to leave the head off and just set the body and the head next to each other. That's awesome.
I did
like
Revok,
that.
and I actually did the blood on the side with the bullet hole. Like you could see, you could see the bullet hole.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like how you got the strain on his face. That's awesome.
I did some Tron characters. Oh, I did Roadblock.
Roadblock. Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, I did Rocket Robin Hood.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, eh? I was very happy with.
He got the shock of weight in his hair and
the white and all that.
Okay, Robin Hood.
Oh, that's thingy. I did this for Running Man. Yeah, I did a special one for. I forgot I forgot why we had done that. It was like I did it for my buddy or whatever who wanted it. I did Samurai.
What's his name? Samurai. Yeah.
Yeah.
Santos, of course. Scareglow.
That's cool.
Awesome Scareglow.
I did I did this. Oh, I did Snake Plissken, of course.
Yes.
All the different spider versions. And Spirit. I did this is from Zissou from Life Aquatic.
Oh, the Bill Murray.
Yeah. Swamp Thing.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. Actually, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I did? Oh, you know what I did do that? Did we pass P already? Yeah.
Yeah.
To go back fast. I did every Predator version from every movie up till like I don't know. I stopped at some point where I'm like, this is too many now. I did every Phantom version.
Thomas Prime.
Oh, how did we pass? Wait, Predator? Oh, what? Oh, you know what? I think it's under a separate folder. Oh, I did so many Predators that I had to do a separate folder. Okay, hold
It
on.
got its own folder.
It got
for
its
the
own
Predators.
folder. Hold on, hold on. This will be it, and then I'll window. Here we go. Okay, so there's Predator where he's mixed. See, like it's like he's like in the city, so it's like he's like half
okay. So he's like half camoed.
half camo.
Yeah.
There he is. So this is Predator 2 where his arm gets cut off. See, his arm is severed. His left arm is severed.
I see it.
Right. So this is Predator 2. That's his helmet. It's removable. So the helmet is actually, if you
It slips over.
It slips over. Yeah, it slips over.
Okay, I like that.
Right. And then with just the helmet, if you just don't want to remove the helmet.
Right.
That's both arms intact, removable helmet. That's Predator 1 in the forest, camouflaged with helmet.
Yep.
If you want just the removable helmet here's Predator 1, the first Predator. No, I don't have Diabolic, could not be reached. I should do that. I got Predator without the thing, and then I did Prey.
Yeah.
So that's what he sees, right?
That's awesome.
So there you go. So that's all the Predators I've done.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude. Like, so I haven't made one in 100 years. Today I made Cosmic Boy just because I've been dying over the Legion of Superheroes. So I made Cosmic Boy. But I've got every Conan. I got Clawful, who's like my favorite He-Man guy.
I'm hanging on my wall over there.
I found him. I found Origins Clawful.
Did you find the Origins?
I found him. I'm so happy.
I've still got my original, but I've got my Origins over there. I love it.
I have so many of the original. My original. I don't have my original one as a kid. I lost it. I put it in my pocket. I carried him everywhere. I carried him everywhere.
Right.
I put it in my pocket.
As we did.
Oh
man.
Yeah. He fell out, and I was so upset. And we couldn't find another one, so I never got one till adulthood. And then actually, I traded my Stratos. I wanted Stratos so badly, and I traded my Superpowers Green Lantern and my small Mego Hulk, 3 3/4 inch Hulk for Stratos. And the guy gave it to me, and it broke. And the guy moved, and it's like the legs were kind of loose. I was like, hey, and I didn't really think about it, and they just snapped off. I was like, what?
The band inside us. And that was before we had good replacements that we could pop in them.
I was a little kid. And then my friend Vic gave me his Stratos because he felt bad for me. He actually gave it to me. I still have it to this day. It's in my bathroom on top of my I still have the one. It's naked. He has none of the parts to it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Charlie, did you know I had this? I have a blue bearded Stratos.
Really? You have one of the variants?
The real variant from back then.
Right.
Intact. It's like 10 grand or something. I saw it on eBay or whatever.
Yeah, it's not cheap for that one. That's insane. That's awesome.
You know how I got it when eBay was a thing. I was like, I need to get I had the red wing Stratos. I never had a blue wing Stratos, so I thought, let me order a blue wing Stratos. So I ordered it. It came in. This is way early, like the early days of eBay. And I paid nothing. I paid $10. I got it. I'm like, he has a blue beard. And I was like, oh no, someone painted his beard blue. And I'm looking, I'm like, no, this doesn't look like someone painted. It looks like it is blue. I thought, that's so weird. I was like, okay. I threw in I keep them all in a Ziploc bag.
Right, but still, it's in a tote with everything else.
With everything else. And then I'm like, blue bearded Stratos Ultra. I'm like, wait a minute, I think mine's blue. I'm like, holy shit. And then now it's in like this case. Right.
Yep. Back in the day, man, people had no idea. There was no like forums that even now, like I'm in a lot of collector groups, like even for G.I. Joe and all these other things, they still find variants that pop up. Like a Red Bar R5 has not been known about for very long, and then there's all these other different, like, the country of origin COs, like new ones are being found, like little variations on other ones that aren't paint apps that are mistakenly done. It's insane.
So
the level these guys go into detail. Like there's people like magnifying glassing their figures for variants and stuff like that.
Yep. So, Ooh, all right, guys. Well, let's take a look. This is it, the final four.
We're there.
Wow.
What's that? We got 3 more episodes.
Yep. And then we're going to take a break. And then we're going to devise, do you want to do Maxploitation? Do you want to do fantasy? We can kind of figure it out. Let's take a look at the poll. The poll says that SpaceHunter loses. Krull wins by 75%. There was 4 votes, so 3 people preferred.
3 people.
So we could do Maxploitation. We could do like a post-apocalyptic thing. We could do the fantasy. Sean sent me a list of fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to look at that. We can give it a.
Yeah, we can look at them.
Take the rest of, and then I mean, like I was almost debating doing one episode to cover all 4 of these.
Right.
I was actually going to suggest that because we've talked about them multiple times. I feel like we could probably get through both next week, hit both of those. Then we have the other, and that frees us up for the holiday.
Exactly.
So
that's what I was right. That's what
I think that's the smart play. Let's do that. Let's just plan on that.
Yeah, because I don't want it to go. I actually wanted it to end before December, but things came up, and I think it is what it is.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Do you think we can finish them all? Like, should we just finish it all next week, or do you want to save the last one?
That depends on if you and I both think of who's going to win, how much we're going to agonize about which one we pick.
Yeah, maybe not then. Yeah, maybe not. Next week.
Then it makes that one special. That's our grand finale.
Our grand finale. Yeah. So okay.
Start making some in memoriam little videos for the ones that people are mad that left.
Yeah. I brought Krull back just to kill it again.
That's right. Well, yeah. We warned them. We warned them.
I did warn people.
Yeah.
You know what? Sorry, Krull. I'll give you the Mandy Rose kiss and wink. I'll give you Nikita Lyons. I'll give you.
That's a great consolation prize,
that
right there.
That is a great consolation prize. I don't know what to tell you.
Damn it.
All right, guys. Well, that is it then. We will see you 1 week from today, where we're going to do all 4 of those movies, bang it out real quick. It'll be fast. I know I'm very clear now on these last few. Like, I know where I'm going, I think, for most of them.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, that is it, guys. The links to everyone's channels are in the description of this video, plus in the chat. If anyone's watching this on a replay, you do get to see the chat. So you can hit the hot links, plus the links are in the description. So make sure that you check out. Sean's been posting a lot more videos. Steve's book is coming out. There's some issues with the cover. He didn't like the way it turned out or something. I don't know. They're redoing the cover, but it is coming out. And Charlie, you guys, your podcast is on all of the ways that you guys,
every way you can get it. Comes out every Tuesday, alternates horror and action. This week coming up is Class of 1999, and we collaborate with another podcast called Spoils of Horror. Those guys are awesome. It's a good episode, so be looking forward to it.
I love Class of 19. I like 84. I like 99's the best. Yes. I like 99 too. 99 is
that's how I found it, because like I told you guys, I'm a Sasha Mitchell fan, so that's how I found the whole series, and I just went into it, and I love every bit of it.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. So I don't know, but 99 I think is my favorite, just because Pam Grier and Patrick Kilpatrick.
There's reasons it's the better one, even over awesome. 84. Yeah,
yeah, I like it better than 84. 84 is good, but I mean, I was so angry that I wanted to kill all of the. It was like one of these things where, like, I'm siding with like the teachers to kill all these asswipes.
Yeah,
and it's like, whereas 99, you're like, I like the idea that the teachers are like,
flips
great,
it,
like,
but then it goes so much further than the original.
It's like Terminator. It basically
is.
Terminator.
It's a Terminator. It's Mark L. Lester. What do you expect, man? He just got done working with Arnold, so we accept it. So yep, that's next week, guys. So check it out.
All right, guys. Then we'll see you a week from today for the final 4. We're gonna go from 4 to 2. And that's going to be awesome. All right.
That's it, man.
Adios.
Hey, friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.